Take advantage of the Boxing King media discount at BYD Sheffield. You can get this amazing car for £269 per month with a £269 deposit. Details in the description.
I just was reading an article earlier about Chris Eubank Jr.'s finally reacted to his £100,000 fine. I think he's quoted as saying that it was unusually high. What did you make of the figure, and is it justified?
Listen, it's a hell of a lot of money, isn't it? I don't know what David A got fined. Do you know the figure when he had a fight with Chisora?
I don't know what that was, but I've seen a lot of the Chisora incidents. I think the max was 30 grand or 25 for the table flip.
So there you go. So I mean, David A punched him or hit him with a bottle or something, didn't he, at a press conference? So you'd imagine.
Klitschko's slap was 25 grand.
Okay, there you go. So in that sense, it doesn't make it, in proportion to what those ones were, it's way too high. I get in some ways they're probably trying to discourage that type of behaviour in the future, so no one does that again in the future. But I've got a feeling that they've done it based on the size of the event, the magnitude of the fight, and knowing the sort of revenue it's pulling in. They've based the fine on that, and really that's unfair. No, that's unfair because a fine based on a wrongdoing under the rules and terms and conditions, it shouldn't matter how much money you're earning. It should be based on the fine and penalised. If you're going, if you get done for a speeding ticket, if you're a multi-millionaire, you don't have to pay more money than someone who's on the dole. Do you know what I mean? The fine's the same no matter what. So I think it is pretty unjustified.
And just on that fine, we saw a lot of comments come out as to where this money goes. Nick Blackwell did a post on X, and he basically said he's never received anything. I've asked Johnny Nelson, he doesn't know anyone that's received anything. So I'm going to ask you, because I'm just pointing out there, have you or anyone that you know in boxing from your era ever received any money from the boxing board for helping you with your life after boxing?
I've not heard or seen anything like that. I do know that there's some type of charity set up apparently for ex-boxers who are struggling, who they can reach out to. But again, I've never seen anything. For instance, you would expect something, if there is such an organisation set up, then you would expect there's an Instagram page, a Twitter page, a Facebook page, where people like us who are involved in the sport are promoting it to help other fighters, which for a fact in this sport we've all got each other's back. If there's anyone who's if there's a problem, a fundraiser, and someone needs to raise 20 grand for whatever, everyone jumps on board and helps each other out. So I know for a fact if there was a type of setup like that, everyone would be adding it to the story on Instagram, retweeting stuff, promoting stuff. So I just can't see that being the case if there is such an organisation. If there is, please tag me on Instagram or whatever, and I'll share it for you, because I'm more than happy to try and do that. Because if the money has gone to a good cause, then even though the amount is probably not justified, then the reasoning for it is. So, because if it's not, then where is it going?
Yeah, it's just a question that's worth asking. Hopefully we can ask somebody in the board soon. And last thing I want to ask you about, Jamie, your opinion on Ben Whitaker joining Andy Lee. Obviously, I'm assuming it's a couple of months before the rematch with Liam Cameron. What do you make of that move? And also, is it enough time for him regards to the Cameron rematch?
Well, I think a coach can have an impact regardless of the length of time, even within a couple of weeks. Andy Lee's very, very good technical coach, and I think Ben Whitaker's style will be really suited to that type of coaching. Andy's got a lot of experience, knows his boxing inside out, so it can't be a bad move. Change sometimes, even if it's just sort of the placebo effect, it has a massive impact. But that's not going to just be the case, because I know Andy well, and I know he's a really good coach. So yeah, it should be a good partnership.
In your opinion, based on how the first fight was panning out, can he turn it around?
Listen, I don't think it's a straightforward fight. I think that type of style is probably his kryptonite, because I always say to my fighters, if there's someone who's real elite level type stylistic, you know, sharpshooter from the outside. You don't want to try and match someone in that department. You try and drag them down to your level and turn it into more of a physical, rough type of fight, and that's what Liam Cameron does. So the first 2 or 3 rounds, I believe, will be really important. You know, if Ben Whitaker sort of tries to blast him out, or he's negative and just tries to move and sort of manoeuvre him, and Liam just walks him down and takes him on the arms and gloves like he did last time, and then starts to get his feet close, then it should be interesting. But there's the possibility that that Ben could catch him and take him out of there, can really punch. So it's an interesting rematch.
It is. Thank you very much, Jamie, sitting on the fence there.